Welcome everyone from another lesson from Message from the Youth. Today we're going to be talking about another New Age deception called tarot cards or tarot readings. All right, and just to let everyone know, this might be the last of this series, unless we think of something else to talk about during the New Age deception series. This might be the last one. Then we'll move on to something new next time you come on.
Yeah, but we still, might visit this topic again in the future. But like you said, right now it's like running low off things we could talk about.
All right, let's get started. The first thing you might ask is, what is tarot reading? So tarot cards actually were started in the 15th century. And originally they started off as playing cards. So just like, your average playing card. It wasn't a poker card. It's actually older than the poker cards, like the normal deck of cards that you see. These cards were actually, instead of on like small little cards, they were actually drawn onto tablets of stone, and they were huge like this, like stone tablets. So it wasn't like a little plain deck card. It had actually have tablets of stone. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, not long after, probably 200 years afterwards, there was a Frenchman named John Baptiste. He was the first one to start using the tarot cards as divination methods. Divination is basically when you use other means besides God to contact spiritual realms. So you use, like, an example is the Ouija board. You use the Ouija board to make contacts with spirits. Tarot cards can also be used for those purposes as well.
Basically, all forms of New Age is divination.
Yep.
In its own way.
Every form of it. And keep in mind, practice of mostly all the things we talked about can be forms of magic itself. Like witchcraft, I'm not saying to go read some of the books, but you can do some research about what they have inside of them. And a lot of them do mention tarot cards and how to use them. All right. So basically, this is how it works. In each deck of tarot cards, there are 78 cards. Okay, and they divide the cards into what we call major arcana, excuse me, and then they have minor arcana. So the major cards, which there are 22 of them, they're meant to reveal major aspects in someone's life. So as you can tell by that statement, these cards are actually used for prophecy or fortune telling. And we know in the Bible there were talks about a lot of prophets or people that claim they could get you the same results as going to God, which we know wasn't true.
False prophets.
Right.
I have a lot of those today.
Okay, those are the major cards. It talks about it helps you determine or foresee major events in the future of your life. Those are the major cards. There's 22 of them. The other half are called the minor arcana cards. And the minor cards are meant to tell you about daily basis things that can happen to you, or daily basis of things that you should do on the daily basis. So it's minor things, but it's not really minor. It's just day to day. It's not just big events like the major ones.
Hey, Veronica, I see you. Hey, Veronica. Thank you for joining.
Hey, Veronica. All right. So this is also similar to daily horoscopes, which we did cover in the past. Mm-hmm. In terms of you're using other methods to determine what you should do in your own life and things that you should watch out for in your own life instead of going to God. So it's the same concept as the horoscopes. It's just in the form of cards. Okay.
Right, like a lot of times, like modern day tarot readers, they're usually like, I guess psychics. You go to them, and then
Psychic.
one of their first things they do is pull out like the tarot cards, and you know, well, if he, are you gonna explain like how they do it?
No, I'm
It's
not gonna.
it's like a weird process. So basically, all they do is they take like the cards, and then they just shake them.
Yeah.
And whatever one falls out,
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen that
that's
before.
like that's like the right card or whatever, or like the most accurate card. And that's what's gonna supposedly tell you about like yourself or
Yeah,
whatever.
and then
But
do it 2 more times after that. So it's gonna be a total of 3 cards
yeah,
when
and
the
literally all
process
they're doing is shaking.
to make it seem as what's the word, authentic as possible. Like they're not trying to purposely pick a card for you. They're trying to make it seem like it's the universe doing it.
Right, like at random.
Right. All right. And these cards are actually there are different forms of the tarot cards. They have the original tarot cards that were made, and then they have other people that put their own little touches onto it. And one of the people that put their own touches to it was named Alistair Crowley. Now, some of you might already know that name. If you don't, he was actually the first person to make a different form of the tarot cards. He's also the most notorious occultist and magician of the 20th century.
Yeah, he was really like a real life super villain, basically. Like he knew all the spells, all
Yeah.
like the black magic ritual. He was really involved with the music industry also.
And he also wrote a lot of books that are still used today. A lot of his books are dealing with magic and they're still used today. So
Yeah, if y'all don't know that name, y'all should definitely like
yeah,
look it up.
we're not gonna go too much in depth with Alistair Crowley because that's a whole nother lesson. We talk about him. But just keep that in your mind. He was one of the first occultists, and he actually founded his own religion too. So just keep that in mind. So now we're going to get into the downfalls of using tarot cards to determine your future and the life decisions that you should make. All right. And the first downfall is people who use tarot cards for spiritual purposes. The tarot cards can still be used as playing cards. Keep that in mind. That's what they started off as, were playing cards. But people put their own beliefs to the cards and turn it into another method of divination.
I wouldn't even use it as
Yeah, I wouldn't
card,
either.
like,
Yeah.
just for the simple fact that like
Especially if they're not your cards. If it's someone else's cards, it can definitely hold energy in the cards. Especially if that person was
yeah, like demonic.
yeah, demonic, exactly.
That's
Or like
usually,
demons.
yeah, that's usually how things start though. It's usually something pure and then the world perverts it and makes it something evil. And
Exactly.
that's just how things go and hurt now, I guess.
And for some reason a lot of females are using like tarot cards a lot. Not trying to call y'all out, but I notice a lot of females.
Yeah, I know a
like,
couple too.
it would be random women too. Like you would never expect them to have a deck of tarot cards. But
Yeah.
it's just regular now.
I think
I
the
don't know.
reason is because tarot card reading is witchcraft in itself. And you know, witches are females. So I guess it never really truly disappeared. It just kind of like snuck its way in to the youth. And some of them probably might not even know it's actually witchcraft. They probably think it's fun. Just like some people thought zodiac signs were just fun. It was nothing else to it. It's the same concept. People just yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, I feel like it is the same concept, but like somebody who like, cause to go looking for a tarot reading is harder to do than to find like your zodiac sign or something.
Right.
So I feel like people who do tarot readings, like they have more motivation
Yeah.
to divulge in that type of stuff, if that makes sense. So it's kind of
Yeah. They want something more than this zodiac. I think they're going. When you get to a tarot card, you're basically going all in
Yeah,
at
you
that
into
point.
everything.
yeah, because like you can't not know what a tarot reading is before getting one. Like
Right.
it's kind of backwards.
Okay, and let's go into the second downfall of tarot reading. And the second one is when people go to tarot readings, they fully trust.
No, Facebook. Look,
1 second, guys. You're having difficulty.
hold on. You go. Keep talking. I'm gonna check the Facebook stream.
Okay, guys. The second downfall is people will fully trust a tarot card reader having control over their life. They'll go to them first before they'll go to anyone else. And the downfall with that is there's a chance that someone could read your cards the wrong way. And if they read your cards the wrong way, you could be doing the wrong things and negatively impacting your life.
Yeah, this goes for the people who put their whole faith in tarot cards. Because if the tarot cards say that you're gonna have a horrible day today, then they're gonna expect to have a horrible day in it, and I
Right.
guess it will happen because that's really what you believe.
All right.
For some reason, we're not broadcasting on Facebook right now. Only on YouTube. So sorry about that for anybody who was waiting and they couldn't get on.
Life transition minutes.
Yeah, that one. That's the one right there. All right, good.
Now.
Yeah, I'm about to check.
All right. I'm debating if we should
Just start over.
just start.
You can do a quick synopsis.
Okay. Sorry to everyone that was on Facebook. You had some difficulties. It didn't post to Facebook, so we're only on YouTube for a few minutes. So I'm just gonna do a brief recap on what we talked about earlier. So we're talking about tarot cards and tarot readings. All right. And basically the tarot card was invented in the 15th century as a playing card game. So it was a normal card game. There weren't any spiritual or any other practices with the cards besides using it as a card game. So it wasn't until 1780, there was a man goes by the name John Baptiste. He was the founder of tarot card spiritual practices.
That's weird because like his last name is Baptiste.
Right.
You wouldn't think he would be into tarot.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic.
It's just weird to me when I think John Baptiste. I think about John the Baptist. I don't know why it was popping up in my head.
That's what
But-
I thought of too.
But yeah, it was a Frenchman. Okay, and tarot is considered one of the main practices of occultism. So just keep the lookout for that. All right, let's get into it. Modern use of tarot cards. Tarot cards is a form of witchcraft. Make no mistake about that, it is a form of witchcraft. And it is practiced in a lot of witchcraft books and material that they have. So it's not some innocent game, some innocent party game. It actually is used for witchcraft.
I just want to say welcome to everybody who joined. Again, sorry about that. Earlier we didn't have it connected to the right Facebook page. But hello, Kim. Hello, Miss Sonia. Hello, Stella. Hello, Clayton.
Monica again.
Hello to everybody.
Sonia.
Yeah, hey, Veronica.
Veronica said, Satan makes it all look fun and attractive. Glad you are exposing the truth from a biblical perspective. Yeah,
Right.
we got to.
Okay. So I'm just going to talk to you for a couple minutes about the process of how people use these cards. So the cards themselves, there are 78 of them, 78 cards. And the way it's divided is into two categories. The first category is called Major Arcana. And the major cards, there's 22 of them. The major cards are supposed to tell you about or help you get insight about big events in your future, big lifetime changing events in your future. That's what the major cards are supposed to do. The other half are called the minor arcana cards. And the minor cards are supposed to tell you or give you insight about daily things that could happen to your daily life on an ongoing daily basis.
So like he was saying earlier, it's very similar to the horoscope readings and like
Right.
the zodiac sign and you know,
Right. These are
things like
daily things. So there are people that use, just like people use daily horoscopes, there are people who wake up daily, get their cards out, draw the cards. You don't need another person to do it for you, actually. If someone knows what they're doing, they actually can do it for themselves, draw their own cards.
They actually have YouTube videos now of people who just do it. I guess like for the month of October or something, they would do like a tarot reading for people who were born in October. I don't really know how that works, but yeah, they got YouTube videos. People can just,
So they do
so
it for
it's even more accessible.
So it's like a mix between. They're probably using zodiac in some form with the tarot too. I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like those things go hand in hand.
Yeah,
Like
at this point, it's just like, man,
yeah,
same thing. They both get you to the same place.
Yep. And if we go look up the root word of arcana, it basically means it's a Latin word for secret. So basically, the cards are supposed to be telling you secrets about your future that you don't know. If you don't know it, they're supposed to be secrets. So that just tells you all about the cards right there. They're supposed to be fortune-telling cards, not just playing cards. And today we're going to be talking about another thing, which is that tarot cards are being modernized. All the cards don't look the same as they used to when the first ones came out. They even have different ones. Now they have ones with modern people, like black people. They have some black people on it. It looks innocent.
They got rainbows,
Yeah,
on it, all types of stuff.
Yeah,
Tell it to you.
And also, you might have heard this name. There's a person that made his own deck of tarot cards. His name was Alistair Crowley. And he was also a member of the occult. Not only a member, he was probably the most prominent occultist probably ever. I know at least in the 20th century he was. But Crowley was probably the most looked up to occultist member and practitioner of dark magic. And he has written books about it. There are still plenty of music artists that look up to him, that reference him in their tracks, that have themes about the things that he talked about.
Yeah, if y'all know him or heard of him, then you would know like his motto is like kind of interesting. It's do what thou wilt. So he doesn't live by, by, I guess, by biblical law, or he doesn't care about morality.
Yeah, he don't have a moral code, basically.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
That's his motto. Like,
He doesn't.
Thou wilt.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about good and bad. He thinks there is no good and bad, and whatever you do on earth is like it has no consequences. You can kill somebody, you can do anything you want. There's no sin, basically, in his eyes. So that's clearly not somebody we should be paying attention to. And on top of that, he's a Satanist. He made tarot card his own. I didn't even know he made his own tarot card deck. But
He has his own deck. He was actually the first person to make a new tarot card deck. Now there's plenty of other ones nowadays, but he was the first one to change it from the original one. It still had the same meanings, but some of the images were changed to appear more what's the word? Dark.
Not innocent.
Yeah, his were a little more dark because he really didn't care. He didn't care so much about God and other religions that he formed his own religion. So that just tells you about the kind of people that brought up the tarot readings and the history behind it. And we're not going to talk too much about Crowley today because that can be a whole lesson. So
For real.
it could be a whole lesson. We might have to do it one day.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to get into the downfalls of tarot reading. And the first downfall is people who use tarot cards can come in contact with spirits and evil ones at that. There are people, matter of fact, I have a verse for that. Can we go to, let's see, let's go to Acts 16, verse 16 through 18.
You read
Have
it?
one of y'all.
All right.
I can read it. I'll read it real quick for you guys.
You said Acts 16 what?
16 through 18. All right, got it. I'll read it. All right, so this scripture is basically talking about Paul. It's going to talk about Paul. Okay, and it says, "It came to pass, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with a spirit of divination met us." So divination, if you didn't hear me before the technical difficulties, divination is basically using other means. Most of the time it's going to be physical means like objects, physical material, physical things, to come in contact with the spiritual realm. And one of those physical things was the Ouija board. That's one of the most well-known ones. And people have idols. So yeah, this was another form of divination. So she had the spirit of it in her. It's this damsel that they met, which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying. So this woman had masters that sent her out to prophesy for people and tell their fortunes. And once they gave her the money, she would bring the money back to the soothsayers. So she was kind of like, I don't even know what to call it. But yeah, they were using her for money, basically. And the things that she was saying, it doesn't mean that it wasn't always wrong. Some of the things that she said was right. And some of the things that these mediums or psychics could tell you can be right sometimes. And that's the scary part. But they're just using a different method to get those answers. They're not using
Different
God.
source.
Right.
All about the source.
All right. So verse 17. The same followed Paul and us and cried, saying, "These men are the servants of the Most High God, which show unto us the way of salvation." So she's over there screaming that out to Paul and the rest of them. And verse 18 says, she did this many days. So they had to hear her doing this ongoing. I know they got tired. Yeah. She did this many days. But Paul, being grieved, being annoyed, basically, turned and said to the spirit, "I command thee in the name of Jesus Christ to come out of her." And he came out the same hour. So that just tells you right there, these psychics, these card readers, these people that you go to, mediums, they're not always gonna be purely conscious, thinking their own thoughts. A lot of the time they can be possessed. So when you talk to some of these mediums, you could be talking to an evil spirit and you don't even know it.
Look, Bernadette said she was a spiritual prostitute.
Spiritual prostitute. That's the word.
I
was gonna say it's prostitute, but I didn't have the spiritual. I didn't think about adding that before. But that is the word I was thinking about. They just send her out. She get the money, she bring it back.
What's up, Ibrahim? Thanks for joining. Hey, Miss Sonia, thank you for joining.
Wow, I didn't know that. Thanks for knowledge. Oh yeah, we still learning too. So everything we telling y'all, some things I knew beforehand, some things I had to
Just learn
learn.
last week.
Right.
You already had the research.
Right. All right, verse 19. And when her masters saw that the hope of their gains was gone, since the spirit was gone out of her, they're like, dang, we can't get any more money now because she don't have that spirit of divination in her. Once they saw that was gone, they caught Paul and Silas and drew them into the marketplace under the rulers. And eventually with Paul and Silas, they took them to prison, basically. That's what happened. I'm not gonna go too deep into the full story of that, but that is one of the verses that talks about this kind of spirit that people have.
Y'all should definitely go read up on that.
Yeah, Acts 16. Really, you can read the whole 16th chapter, and even before the chapter, before the 16th. But Acts 16 is where it starts. Okay, that was the first downfall, is that people can be possessed with it and have satanic energy in them. And the cars themselves can also have energy. That's why when you go over certain people's home and you see certain things in the house, it's good to not just be touching everything because you don't know what kind of stuff they're getting into. So be careful with that.
I was trying to look at the emoji.
All right. What is it?
Oh no.
It look like a house. What is
Yeah, I
that?
think it's a house.
Oh,
Oh, church. Yeah. She probably just trying to say church. Like,
yeah. All right. That was the first downfall. The second downfall is people will fully trust in a tarot card reader for their life. This is the same thing as people trusting in zodiac signs. All these have downfalls. And the downfall of the tarot reading card is some of the readers might not know what they're doing. Like, it's just that simple. A lot of people just don't know what they're doing, especially people just getting into it. They can tell you something, and if you're not with God and you don't believe in God, you're just out there like soaking in all this spiritual information from different sources. If someone comes to you with that, it's no telling what they're telling you is true or not. They could be telling you the wrong things and you could negatively impact your life. And no one wants that.
I don't even know why people want to know what's gonna happen in the future.
Right.
Like that's like spoiling the movie, like a good movie to me.
Right.
Like why would you want to know?
Why would you want to know?
Why would you want to know anything about the future?
Exactly.
Like especially if what if it's something bad? What if they tell you that you're about to die?
That's another thing.
In a month, or you're gonna have a terrible accident.
That's another thing.
Who wants to know?
When you go to tarot readers, sometimes they can say bad things. And when they do, most people are going to panic. So it's better off not even knowing those things, especially if it's true or if you think it's true. So,
Samantha, she said fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a card. It's called death.
Yeah.
It's a card in the tarot readings. It's like a death card. So imagine somebody pulling out a death card on you and you thinking the whole day you about to die.
And there is a lot of talks about, I did some research on the death card. It's one of the cards. A lot of readers try to
finesse and be like, oh, it can be a
end of a cycle.
Yeah.
Death. They say death can be the end of a cycle. So it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Like a bad relationship. If they put a death card out on that, it could be like the end of
a bad relationship.
So it could be like a good thing, a good thing. And I don't know. I feel like you are already messing up by going to a tarot reading, and then on top of that, the person don't even know what they're doing. So it's like you messed up.
Double whammy.
Like, come on, you shouldn't even try to do it at that point.
Yeah. And here's another downfall of tarot reading. Another downfall can actually be for the reader itself. Some people might go to the reader, right? And they will they don't want to take responsibility for their life. So they always go to a reader. They don't want to make the decisions, the life choices for themselves. It's too much pressure for them. So they'll go to a medium to tell them what to do. And the downfall with that is, even with the readers, some people might come after you like angry, saying, "Why did you tell me this? Why did you do this?
You
It's
signed
your
up
fault.
for it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you
your
walked in
fault.
there.
You told me this was gonna happen. Blah blah blah. That's why it happened." So yeah, when you go to the tarot readers, some people just lack responsibility for their life. Basically, they want someone else to place the blame on besides themselves for things that happen to them.
Ooh, Miss Sonya said. She said, "It never made sense to me how someone could know your future other than God."
Yeah, we
For
have
real.
plenty of verses on that. We can go to Jeremiah 29:11. One of y'all can read that.
All right, I'll go to it.
Yeah, Jeremiah 29:11.
One second. Jeremiah 9.
9:11.
All right, it says, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, said the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end."
Exactly. He wants the best for us. That's what God wants. But when you go to tarot readers, they're telling you bad things as well. God's not gonna just scare you like that. He's gonna tell you things that's gonna actually help you. He's just not gonna tell you things to leave you stranded, asking for help.
And I think that's the problem. Like, people just don't believe in God.
Yeah.
Because if they did, they would never go to a tarot reading. Because,
Yeah.
like, if a person truly believes in God, then they will understand that God knows us inside and out. You know, like, He made us. He knows
Right.
what we like, what we don't
He
like,
knows
how
what's
we're
best
gonna
for us.
die, when we're gonna die. He knows He even knows if we're going to heaven or not, or like He knows the path that we will take in our life. So it's like, man, people just don't believe, so they get sucked into all these other avenues looking for answers when the answer been here the whole time.
Right.
Like, since the beginning of time,
And
before time,
yeah.
the answer has been here.
And if anyone needs, or is anyone having trouble with tarot cards, or like they feel like they're getting sucked into it, just keep this verse in mind. This verse, it comes from Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. All right, verse 5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding." It's in there for a reason. He don't want you leaning onto your own understanding, because what you think you understand is not always the right thing. You think you understand something, but you're not perfect. You don't know the outcome of everything. You don't know what's truly uh, good for you. So lean not unto your own understanding. And verse 6 says, "In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path." So you want God directing your path. You don't want some person sitting down
With a crystal ball,
with a big crystal ball, handing out cards, trying to tell you what you should do.
But in order for that, you have to seek him, though.
Right.
If you don't seek him, he can't help you.
Right.
and you have to read, and, read the scriptures and research them. And sometimes what I do, I just look up like what scriptures talk about this,
Right.
what scriptures relate to this topic. So it's good to know that, because once you know that, then you have something to kind of like lean on
Right.
when it comes to stuff like this.
And for you unbelievers out there, seeking is not something complicated. It can be as simple as asking God a question. God, can you tell me what I should do about this? Can you tell me a different way to do this than what I'm doing right now? It can be that simple. Seeking God is just ignoring all the other worldly things and trying to get advice or get help from him. That's all it means. It doesn't mean you have to
Drop everything.
Yeah,
Quit your job, go into the wilderness, and
yeah.
unto
Doesn't mean
Abraham type stuff. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't mean you have to drop everything you're doing at once. It doesn't mean you have to become a preacher or a pastor. It doesn't mean that. It just means you go to him first. You go to him first. That's what it means.
He's supposed to be the spiritual advisor,
Right.
not tarot people.
You want God
zodiac or
star.
yoga or yes, like you said, astrology.
Right. You want God to be your guidance counselor, so to say. All right, and let's get into the other. Yeah, another downfall. We kind of mentioned this already, but it's knowing what will happen in your future can make you feel helpless, like you can't do anything about it. And it can make you scared of things that you can't change.
And it's like, what when you think about it, what's so important for somebody to know? Like, I don't know. I can't relate. Can't relate to people who go to tarot readings because, like, most of the time they just want to find out who they're gonna marry and like little stupid stuff.
Right.
Not stupid stuff, but like stuff that they can easily, ask God for guidance for.
People who do this, I feel like they're very anxious people. Like they don't have peace of mind.
That's what Aunt Samantha, she said, fear of
unknown.
Oh
yeah,
Fear
of the
unknown.
Fear of the unknown. But I just rather not know. I don't want to know how I'm gonna die. I don't want to know when I'm gonna die.
Yeah, something.
I don't even want to know what I'm gonna have for breakfast tomorrow. Surprise me.
Yeah, guys, we have another scripture to go with this as well, and that is, let's see, Leviticus 19:26. Wait, I'll read that one. You want to read that one? Leviticus 19:26. 19:26. Okay.
Leviticus 19:26 says, hold on, I'm trying to find the King James version. Oh, ye shall not eat anything with blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, nor observe times.
So when he says you should not eat anything with the blood, this was talking about
Sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrifice. During that time, this Leviticus, so this was the Old Testament. So let's see where. Neither shall ye use enchantment. Enchantment basically means magic.
Spells.
Yeah, magic, witchcraft, spells. And just keep in mind, witchcraft is using the power that we already have, but we're using it from getting the power from Satan instead of God.
Witchcraft is tarot cards.
Yeah, tarot cards is a form of witchcraft.
Yeah, it's a form of magic. People say magic not real, but it's really real.
Oh yeah, magic definitely.
Like it's in the Bible. They talk about it all the time.
Okay, let's see if we got another scripture for you.
The Holy Spirit also knows your future. Like that's our connection to God. Somebody said guidance counselor, brilliant.
Yeah, God is the guidance counselor.
I feel
thank you for the hearts.
I feel like this verse right here is gonna it's like the stamp right here. It's Leviticus 19:31. It says, "Do not turn to mediums or necromancers. Do not seek them out, and so make yourself unclean by them. I am the Lord your God." So this is saying like if you do this, it says I am the Lord your God. So it's basically saying if you do this, turn to these necromancers, the stuff that they're saying, you're making them your God. So it's saying just turn from that. It's making you unclean.
And that's what it is, guys. A cult, some people always think of a cult. A cult doesn't always mean a bad thing. I think the original term for cult was a group of people that have a following into someone that they worship. But a cult is different nowadays because usually it means unusual religious practices.
Yeah. You got people like Charles Manson.
Stuff out of the norm, like Alistair Crowley, his religion, Thelema. That's unusual. And some of the things he talked about,
highly unusual.
Some things that he did and practiced, I kind of want to do a session on it, but at the same time, if we do that, just be prepared because it's pretty crazy. Like the stuff that he gotten into is pretty crazy, and people actually follow him too, like countries. It wasn't just in the U.S. It was Germany, France. There's another country, yeah, Italy.
And you know the sad thing, he grew up as a Christian, household. He went to church like every
Charles
Sunday.
Manson was a Christian too, I think.
Yeah. I think with Crowley, well, I'm not gonna get too much on Crowley. We could do a whole lesson on him. But
I don't even think he deserves our time, bro. Like I don't know, bro. Y'all might have to research him.
Yeah, you might have to. If you truly interested,
just know he's a Satanist, and you know he just doesn't live.
He's one of the founders. Keep that in mind. Like he started a lot of the practices that are going on today. He didn't start it himself, but he definitely was the biggest influence on people. So even the music,
he got rich off of this stuff. So people were looking to him for guidance for a lot of things.
Right. And he's actually, I don't know, I think Crowley was the complete opposite of Moses. Because there's a little fact about him. He went to Egypt and he said there was someone named, I think it was spelled Aiwass. Awas. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, he said that he got knowledge from this being, whoever that person was or that thing, whatever it was, when he was in Egypt. And he wrote a book. And guess what he called his book that he wrote? The Book of the Law.
So you heard about that.
So when the Book of the Law, you can already tell how he's perverting what God's doing. You can already see it. Okay, and be sure if you guys have any questions about anything or something that you want to know more about, you can always leave a comment and we'll get to you on that.
Yeah, drop them in the comments. We've been doing a better job of watching the comments. Usually we have it on full screen, so we can't really see everybody's comment, but we see everybody. Yeah, also, you have any prayer requests, please don't forget to drop those too.
Yep. All right. Y'all got anything else?
No. Clayton and Stella will be teaching on Saturday at
6:30, and then on Sunday we have Sonia Lynn and Veronica Cook
every second and fourth Sunday.
Yeah, every second and fourth Sunday at 7:00.
Yeah, I believe so.
And we also have Minister Robert Sharp every Sunday at 11:00 teaching. So be sure you tune into that.
Yeah, a lot of people dropping a lot of knowledge, so you don't want to miss out on that.
You don't want to miss it because things are still coming to us. Like with the tarot cards, I didn't even know I was going to talk about it like in depth like this. I thought at first we were just going to do a different subject, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? I think we should still bring this up because I know tarot cards. A lot of people probably seen them and they didn't know exactly what it was or what it was about. But yeah, I just thought we should mention that. And they actually have phone apps now where you can look at the cards and stuff and get readings on your phone. So it hasn't gone anywhere. It's still here. It's still modern. It's modernized it.
Yeah. So for now, this might be the last addition to our New Age Deception series. We might revisit it.
Yeah.
But for now, I think we're gonna move on to the next subject.
All right.
Which will be 2 weeks from now, the third Wednesday of this month.
The 19th. 19th will come at you guys with it's gonna be a new series. I don't know what to call it yet, but we're gonna have something new for you guys. Something new that gonna benefit you because it's benefiting us, right?
It's definitely gonna be something similar to what we've been teaching. It just probably won't be classified as like new age or whatever. But it's still stuff that, you know, a lot of people don't know. And that's what we try to do, is bring you guys things that we learned that a lot of people just don't know.
Right. And something that a lot of people in the church,
especially people
don't talk about, and that they do,
that
they don't know. Some people do know they're doing wrong, they're still doing it. But that's another thing. Before we go, I was reading about there's certain Christian people that are trying to convince other people that were skeptical of tarot cards that there was nothing wrong with it. But if you go back to the verses that we read, it specifically says, do not go to enchanters and necromancers. So
I don't see
that speaks for itself. Just like they try to play the death card saying it's the end of a cycle. No, they're trying to draw people in, think it's innocent, just like they did with the Ouija board. Same thing with the tarot cards. So
just like they did in Babylonia. They started, you know, just acting up. Started just disregarding everything they were taught, and started seeking knowledge from the wrong source.
Right. Your only source should be from God.
Wool and sheep clothing. It's a fact.
All right, guys.
Thank y'all for joining.
Thank you so much to everybody joining it today. Sorry for earlier. We'll be much better next time. Definitely have it on down pat.
All right. God bless you all. Have a good day.